This is the Volvo EX30 Cross Country, and you might be like, what, a little electric Volvo crossover? Allow me to demonstrate. The EX30 is the compact entry level to the Volvo lineup, and in regular form, it's surprisingly quick and surprisingly fun to drive. Now, the cross-country treatment is the more rugged, go-everywhere version of it. You can see the more aggressive all-terrain tires. They downsize the wheels. They look really cool. You get some fender cladding here, and it's just a different personality. The front fascia here, this is all black plastic, and it's got a really cool topographical texture with some coordinates there, but it's a very different personality from the regular EX30. The regular EX30 I spent time with was moss green, which made me feel like I was driving a tennis ball that you could see from outer space. So this kind of sandy dune color is a bit more subtle, I guess. We also have about a 0.8-inch lift, different springs, a little bit softer, so more ground clearance. You see the fender cladding, and then you get a cross-country badge back here. But overall, it's still the very compact little dimensions. It's a really cool looking little crossover. EX30 Twin Performance. You only get this in dual motor version. And take a look where we are. We're up in the mountains above Malibu, some of the best canyon roads, but there's mud, there's dirt, the roads aren't in fantastic condition, which is perfect for something like this. So with that, let's go for a drive. You tap the key card there, it unlocks. Go ahead and hop in. Put the key card right there for the recognize. As we start driving, I need to go to drive modes, go to performance, and then I also need to go to settings and change a couple things. Driving, we're in performance. I'm gonna turn ESC off. I'll do firm for steering feel. I'm gonna turn also my driver assistance stuff because we're up in the canyons. Turn that off, turn that off. That should be good to go. All right. So this thing is a little pocket rocket. When I first got in the EX30, it genuinely shocked me with the acceleration. It's dual motor, 422 horsepower and 400 pound-feet of torque. And in this compact little crossover that gives hot hatchback feels with the Scandinavian electric twist, it was genuinely quick. We're talking low 3 seconds, 0 to 60. This is the quickest Volvo made. Well, until they give it the cross-country treatment because of those all-terrain tires. You know, it's gonna be a little bit slower, but we're still talking 0 to 60 in 3.5 seconds, 3.5 seconds. That's so quick, right? And when you have a bit more ground clearance and slightly more rugged tires, it actually is great for this kind of stuff. So the springs are different. Springs contribute a little bit to the ride height increase, but they're also a bit softer, which gives you a bit more body motion and makes it feel even more playful. In terms of ultimate speed and grip and ideal circumstances, I'm sure a regular EX30 twin motor performance ultra would be more capable, but here, I mean, these roads are undulating, they're bumpy, they get muddy. This is, I think, even more fun. Now, we were driving down Pacific Coast Highway, PCH, heading over here to Malibu from Santa Monica today, and the road is destroyed. There was so much construction, there was so much traffic, and I feel like this was maybe a little bit more comfortable in terms of the ride quality. Not a massive amount, combination of the spring and the tires. A lot of it's gonna just be a personality shift. This is not meant to be some sort of all-terrain, off-road beast. The cross-countries have been going cross-country, right? A little more adventure-focused, and it's ultimately a mild package change, but on top of an already fun, dynamic little crossover, it's pretty good. And I personally love when you have these kind of tires because the limit of traction is a little bit lower, so you can have fun at more reasonable speeds. You can hear the tires. Oh boy, we got some construction traffic ahead. They are probably trying to clear this stuff out. I'm gonna turn around and head back down. They have a lot of cacti. Oh my. Talk about an unfriendly neighbor, very prickly. All clear, back we go. That was very dirty. You could feel it scrabbling for traction. But this is genuinely a lot of fun. I think this is currently the most fun car in the Volvo lineup. Like, we're doing this, like I'm hustling. I am absolutely hustling. And because of the tires, and they're skinny too. I think they're 235s with 18-inch wheels. They're just much more, you can approach them much easier. It's not like you're running some massive sticky summer tire. Not that would fit on the car like this, but you know, this is a lot of fun. Will most owners of EX30s be doing this? Most likely not. I'm the maniac that decided to detour from the planned driving route. It's like, wait, we're passing by some of my favorite canyon roads. We're gonna go up there. But it does translate to around town fun, right? And this this personality of the cross country, not only does it look cooler, I think it puts a big smile on my face. Ooh, hard on the brakes, turning right there. You can hear the tires too. That's another thing with EVs. You know what's happening with tires audibly a lot more because there's no powertrain noise hiding stuff. You know, engine, no exhaust. That being said, typically EVs end up a little heavier, so the tires get punished more. But this thing is actually lightweight for an EV. It's just under 4,200 pounds. It's like 4,156 pound curb weight. It's actually only, I think, 5 pounds heavier on paper compared to the non-cross country twin motor. This only comes in the dual motor setup. You cannot get this with the entry-level rear-wheel drive, although that could be fun. Woohoo, that was a big bump. Absorbed it fine. I am putting this thing through its paces. Now, the steering feel is okay, actually. I have it in the firmest setting. When you go to like the medium and soft, it's almost like way too artificially light. This one weights up a bit better, and there's not a ton of different things to change from a drive dynamics perspective. You can change that steering weight like I was talking about. You can have one pedal driving, which I turn off for this kind of stuff. And then you have range, standard, or performance. Performance just locks in the dual motors. So you're full all-wheel drive, all power, and then I turn stability control off to try to make sure it's not intervening too much. But the fact that it handles these imperfections in the road a bit better, you know, it's undulating, it's bumpy, it's unpredictable. I think this thing is an absolute riot up here in the canyons, especially in these situations. I am willing to go a little bit quicker in something like this than I would have been in like a low-sprung sports car, right? Like one of those super low supercars, you might be scraping, you're gonna be scared. It's also a very reasonable, manageable size, much more compact feeling. I'm slowing down because there's some construction traffic as they're clearing the canyon roads out. Yeah, there's a whole dump truck over here dumping lots of dirt as I've been clearing stuff out. Gotta be careful when you're up here. Never cross double yellows. Stay in your lane. But like body control is pretty good. The weight balance is actually nearly a perfect 50-50 weight distribution. And then on the inside, sitting here, it's actually pretty comfortable. Like I'm 6'3", and up front at least, I've got great legroom, headroom. It feels very open. They did adopt the Tesla style minimalist to the max, right? Where we don't have a screen in front of us. Everything is through the main center infotainment screen. You just have a sensor that's watching you for various different things. At least we have buttons on the steering wheel. And the materials are cool. Not as much the luxurious like Napa leather and the wood grain that you feel in the higher end Volvo models, but they focus on a lot of like recycled, just interesting, unique textures and patterns. Otherwise on the inside, it's an EX30, right? But this one's got the green interior theme, which is pretty cool, but ultra minimalist. The doors just have a pocket and then an armrest and a handle, right? There's no controls. All the controls have migrated to other places. Your window controls are not on the door. They're in the center armrest here, where actually they also hide the cup holders. It's transforming cup holders. Like this packaging is pretty cool. One complaint I have though, the packaging is like you can't hide stuff. You have a purse or like a handbag or something, or a backpack or something valuable, you can't just leave it here. You gotta, it's a wide open, you can see into it. And then I don't like this, because if you accidentally have the rear window selected and you go roll the windows down when you're going through the drive-thru and you're trying to pay, you're gonna be opening your back window, not your driver window. You're gonna look like an idiot, right? So it's like, why? That's like minimalism too far. You can hear the tires going. But doing this kind of stuff, Like, this is genuinely a lot of fun. Now, the range is, it takes a penalty because of the tires, the slight lift, right? EVs are very sensitive to changes to aerodynamic efficiency, rolling resistance. So it goes from, I think, 253 is the twin motor rating to down into the 220. So you do lose a noticeable amount of range, and then rear world is also going to be less. I started off today at 92, somewhere between 92 to 94% charge, and the screen said it was 211-ish miles of range. And after doing what I've been doing right now, we're down to 71% and showing 136 miles of range. The hope is, I mean, you can still charge pretty quickly with this thing, and it is a smaller battery pack, smaller vehicle, and just over 4,000 pounds is actually pretty light for an EV. And the fact that it still gives you over 400 horsepower and 400 pound-feet of torque, like, yeah. I just had an Audi S5 Sportback up on these same roads, and I am having more fun in this thing than I am in an Audi S5. And I think this thing looks more fun and cool and more character. Yeah, the S5 has more of the luxury interior details, but I feel the balance, the instantaneous response. Tires are starting to go. They're starting to scream for mercy. It's fun. And then, like, if I wanted to go over there or go on the sand dunes, maybe not sand dunes, but like go on the beach, go camping, I know this will handle it with the all-terrain tires. You can get more regular tires, but if you're ordering something like this, get the all-terrain tires, like, or the more rugged-looking ones. That's what makes the cross-country fun. And this thing is very, very, very enjoyable to rip around up in the canyons. It was comfortable as a daily driver. I think this might be one of my favorite of the latest generation of Volvo vehicles. Yeah, XC90 and EX90 are fantastic, like much more premium, more of the tech fancy features. The Bowers and Wilkins sound is amazing. This one has the big Harman Kardon like soundbar looking thing. But, you know, I played around with my EQ settings and it sounded pretty good. EVs can definitely be fun. And while there are some enthusiast-focused EVs coming out with the higher-end stuff, I mean, Ioniq 5N, there's a Mach-E Rally, I feel like just by the nature of them, they can be a bit more dynamic and playful, especially the smaller versions, right? That are a little bit more affordable and just more dynamic. When you get to some of the EVs that we initially got, had like bigger battery packs because they were doing big SUVs and trucks. That's what makes a lot of money. Look at GM's entire like portfolio initially was Hummers and Silverado EVs, and yeah, they weigh as much as a house, 10,000 pounds. It's more than a Hummer is more than 2x of this thing because the battery pack is 3 times the size of this thing. So it's ridiculous. But now we're getting more of these affordable little ones. I mean, Cadillac's getting in with electric V versions. The Optic V is a lot of fun too. But this EX30 cross country, it's not billed as a performance version. It's not like a Polestar engineered version. Polestar's own little thing right now. I like this a lot. I like this quite a lot. And now we are coming down back to Pacific Coast Highway. Beautiful scenery. Whee! And that's quick. Very quick. Very comfortable, very fun. It's got enough of the tech character comforts. There's some things we don't like, right? The too much minimalism, like you have to adjust things with the steering wheel and the touchscreen, like a lot of taps. But some of those things I feel like if you lived with this latest Volvo UX system, you would learn to know where things are and get comfortable with it. I think it looks quirky, fun, unique, cool, stands out. I love the cross-country treatment. There it is. A quick POV drive of the Volvo EX30 cross country. I think this is like my favorite fun to drive Volvo in the current portfolio. EX90 is really cool. XC90 is cool still. I really like that thing, but this thing, yeah, 2 thumbs up from me. Hope you guys enjoyed this quick POV drive, ripping the crap out of EX30 cross country. What do you think about this thing? I would take it over a Tesla. And actually, the biggest competition for this is going to be Rivian R3. When they finally get to the R3, R3X, that's when things will get real interesting. And if they like turn this up even more, they go up against the R3X, we could have a little EV hot hatch crossover, all-terrain, go everywhere, rally car shootout. That'd be a lot of fun. Thanks for watching.